Watch three completely different things. An apple lets go of a branch and races toward the ground. A roller coaster car tips over the crest and comes alive with speed. And an archer pulls a bow taut. Nothing's moving yet, but you can feel something waiting to be unleashed. Three unrelated scenes, and yet every one of them is hiding the exact same secret. So here's the question to hold on to. Where does the speed come from? Don't answer yet. By the end, you'll see it was there all along, stored, invisible, patient. Potential energy. And the great bookkeeping law of the universe, the conservation of energy. Today you'll learn that energy can hide in the arrangement of things, flow from one form to another, and yet the total never, ever changes. Let's find out where that apple's speed was hiding. First, a subtle but crucial idea. When we talk about potential energy, it doesn't belong to the apple by itself. It belongs to the apple and the earth, the whole system. Energy stored in how they're arranged, how far apart they are. Let me give you a way to see energy. These bars are an energy ledger. Blue is potential energy stored in arrangement. Red is kinetic energy, the energy of motion. Keep your eye on them. Now throw it straight up. As it climbs, gravity pulls down while it moves up, so gravity does negative work, draining the red bar. But watch, every drop of red pours straight into blue. At the very top, all motion is gone, and the store is full. Let it fall, and the transfer runs in reverse, exactly. And notice the gold line, the total, has not moved the whole time. So the rule writes itself. The change in potential energy is the negative of the work the force does. What the force takes from motion, the arrangement stores, and gives right back. One catch. This only works for forces that give the energy back, like gravity or a spring. We call those conservative. Friction doesn't, it dumps energy into heat you can't recover. So heat is never a potential energy. Here's the property that makes potential energy possible. Take 2 points, A and B, and connect them with two absurdly different routes. Send our bead along the first. The work gravity does fills this meter to here. Now the second path, and watch, it lands on the exact same value. The route was different, the work was identical. Which means if you go out one way and come back the other, the work cancels to zero. That is the real test of a conservative force. No matter the loop, the net work is nothing. Now contrast that with friction. Same two endpoints, two paths, but the longer path generates more heat. Friction cares deeply about the journey. That's why friction gets no potential energy of its own, there's nothing consistent to store. Both formulas fall out of one idea, potential energy is minus the integral of the force. Start with gravity. The force is mg downward, constant. So as the apple rises a height y, the stored energy climbs in a perfectly straight line. That's U equals mgy. Now a spring. Its force isn't constant, it grows as you compress it, F equals kx. So the energy is the area under that line, a triangle. And a triangle's area is 1/2 base times height. That gives you equals 1/2 kx squared. Notice the shapes. Gravity stores energy linearly with height, A spring stores it with the square of the stretch. And one liberating point where you call u equals 0 is entirely up to you. Slide the 0 and the number changes, but the change in u, the only thing physics uses, never budges. Now the payoff. Add the two energies together and call the sum the mechanical energy, K plus U. Release a coaster from the top with no friction and watch both bars dance. At every peak, the blue store is full and the car crawls. Plunge into a dip and blue pours into red, the car screams along. Up, down, up, down. But look at the gold line. The total never moves. Not by a hair. And here's why it's so powerful. I can compare any two instants, this crest and that valley, and write K1 plus U1 equals K2 plus U2. I never had to know the twisty path between them. Two snapshots, one equation, done. Here's a graph of potential energy versus position, but read it as a landscape, hills and valleys the particle actually rolls through. Draw the mechanical energy as a flat gold line. The gap from that line down to the curve is the kinetic energy, red. Where the gap is wide, the ball flies. Where it narrows, it slows. Push the ball uphill until the gold line just touches the curve. The gap is 0, no kinetic energy left, so the ball stops and turns back. That's a turning point. It can never cross into a region where the curve rises above its energy line. That would demand negative kinetic energy, which doesn't exist. And the force is simply the negative slope of this curve. Steep slope, strong force, flat, no force, and it always points downhill. Which tells you about balance points. A valley is stable, nudge the ball, and it rolls back. A hilltop is unstable, nudge it and it's gone. A flat stretch is neutral, it sits wherever you leave it. An outside push transfers energy into a system. On a perfect, frictionless floor, every joule you push with shows up as motion. The whole input becomes kinetic energy, and the mechanical energy rises by exactly the work you did. Now make the floor rough and push identically. The crate ends up slower, so where did the energy go? It didn't disappear. Watch the orange bar climb, and the sparks fly. That's thermal energy, and it equals the friction force times the distance you slid, Fk times d. So with friction, your work splits two ways, some into mechanical energy, some into heat. The same warmth you feel rubbing your hands together, motion, quietly becoming temperature. Step back and put it all on one page. Energy flows between forms, potential to kinetic, kinetic into a spring, spilling into heat, even into the internal energy of materials. The total change equals only what is pushed in or pulled out from outside. Now seal the system off, make it isolated, with nothing crossing the boundary. Then the work from outside is 0, and the grand total cannot change. Energy just shuttles from one form to another inside the ring, while the sum sits perfectly still. No exception to this law has ever been found. A climber rappelling proves it on purpose. He bleeds gravity's stored energy into heat in the rope, controlled, deliberate. The total stays put. He just chooses which account it lands in. Energy is never created or destroyed, only moved and relabeled. 2 kilos of cheese slide down a frictionless but messy track. We don't care about the shape, gravity is path independent. So swap in an easy L, slide across. where gravity does no work, then straight down 0.8 of a meter. The work is just mgd, about 16 joules. And that's exactly the work along the real curve, shape and all. A 2 kilo sloth hangs 5 meters up. Measure from the ground and it's 98 joules. From its own branch, 0. From a branch above, -20. Same sloth, 3 answers, because the 0 is our choice. But let it drop to the ground, and the change is -98 joules every single time. Only the change is real. A child starts from rest at the top of a frictionless slide, 8.5 meters high. Only gravity does work. So all the potential energy becomes kinetic. 1/2 mv squared equals mgh. The mass cancels, and the speed is √2gh, about 13 meters per second. The slide's twists never entered the maths. Energy gives you the speed, though not the time. A shipper pushes a 14 kilo crate with a steady 40 newtons over half a meter, 20 joules going in. Yet the crate slows from 0.6 to 0.2 meters per second, so its kinetic energy actually drops by about 2.2 joules. Friction is bleeding energy faster than the push adds it. Add it up and roughly 22 joules end up as warmth in the crate and the floor. A 2 kilo package slides at 4 meters per second into a stiff spring, and friction now bites 15 newtons as the spring compresses. Treat package, spring, and floor as one isolated system. The mechanical energy lost equals the heat made. The starting kinetic energy goes partly into the spring and partly into friction's heat. That balance becomes a neat quadratic, 5000 d squared plus 15 d minus 16 equals 0, giving a compression of about 5.5 centimeters, a little less than on a frictionless floor, because friction stole a share on the way in. Let's gather it all in one breath. Potential energy is energy stored in arrangement, but only for conservative forces, the ones that give it back, which is why their work is path-independent. Add motion and you get mechanical energy, K plus U, conserved whenever nothing wastes it. Read it off a curve, and the slope is the force, the gap is the speed. And the moment friction enters, the lost energy isn't gone, it's heat, and the grand total still holds. Because everything you've learned today is really one simple idea, energy changes form, but the total never disappears. Master that, and next time we'll watch what happens when objects collide, center of mass, and the conservation of momentum. If energy finally clicked today, subscribe, and I'll see you in chapter 9.